Okay, distributive property, no. No fractions, no like terms on the same side. Variables on both sides, yes. So get rid of the lesser one by adding or subtracting. 4x minus 1x, 3x, bring down the 5. Then we have additive inverse here. I mean, okay, we don't have fractions, we have variables on both sides, we have additive inverse, yes. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. I'm gonna use the multiplicative inverse, but I already know that I use the multiplicative inverse, or I could just divide by 3 on both sides. Yes, but then again, from here I could just say the following. 3 times what is 12? 4. See that? We know we're gonna divide, so x is 4. We still have to write the steps though. Alright, here we go again. So anyway, so this is basically for my students, and this is basically the Socratic the academic discourse. Write down the names of the people in your group, okay, and start asking questions to the speaker to see how do you tackle this problem. What do you see? You see fractions. Is there a way to solve it? How would you do it? Okay. All right, so we are still solving this problem because I don't see it anywhere else. Let me see. Nope, I don't see it anywhere else. So this will be one of the few problems that I am going to answer. But first, take a minute to figure out what you need to do, okay? Kobe! Alright, so you figured it out? Kobe? Kill me, Kobe? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. I don't want to step on your paws. Oh my god, if you could see my dog, he's like under, like if I move, I will squash his paws. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you took a moment or two to think about it. Okay, cool. So let's see now. Let's first write down the problem. Alright, so that's the problem. So let's follow the same rules. Do I have distributive property? And it's funny because we might not. Do I have distributive property? Nope, I don't see any yet. Do we have fractions? Yes, we do have fractions. So then guess what? We have to find the common denominator. Cool then. So how do I find the common denominator? Well, you could play the game down to 1, which is basically write down the denominators, okay, and start dividing by numbers. Like for example, what is the lowest number I can divide by here? Well, the lowest number is 3. Now 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, well, we're good. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And that's it. We see, once the number is down to 1, we cross it out and we're good. Now 5 divided by 3 cannot evenly go into 3, so then we just write down the 5. Then what is the next lowest number we can divide by? Definitely not 3, definitely not 4, but 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. And now our common denominator is the multiplication here, which is basically 15. Okay, so what am I going to do with that common denominator? I'm going to multiply the whole equation by that common denominator. So let's see now. 15 times 2x divided by 5, right? That's how you read it. 15 times 2x divided by 5. Or if you want to put a 1 under, then you could do 15 times 2x and 1 times 5. What's up?
Hi.
Hi. So then, this is not a negative, okay? So let's see. 15 times 2x is 30x over 5, correct? Then, oh my God, look, we're on the second step, which is fractions, but all of a sudden, now we got distributive property all over again. Why? Because we have to multiply the whole equation by the common denominator. So we already multiplied by this, now I'm gonna multiply by this one right here. So 15 times 1 is 15, and it's positive, so 15 times 1 is 15 over 3, right? And then here guys, I could multiply by 15 here. You know what, let me do it. I'm gonna show you two different ways of solving this problem. This is the hard way. 15 times 7, right? 15 times 7 is 105, so this is 105 x, okay, minus 30, okay, over 15. All right, now this is one of the processes that you won't have to do in the future if you just follow my lead. So anyway, so let's basically simplify this. 30 divided by 5 is 6x. Then 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then 105x minus 30 divided by 15. 105 divided by 15 is 7. So we have 7x. And then minus 30 divided by 15 is negative 2. Okay, what do you notice? When I simplify this, I ended up with this one. Why? Remember what I said? When you multiply and divide by the same number, they cancel out. So you would have been left with 7x minus 2. Here, it would have been easier to, instead of multiply by top and divide by bottom, we started with the division in the bottom. Look, 15 divided by 5 is 3. Times 2, 6. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Times 1, 5. So hopefully you understand that, so in the future you could apply it. All right, so now I did distributive property, I did fractions. Do I have like terms? Nope. Do I have variables on both sides? Yes. So get rid of the lesser one. So we have 5 equal to 7x minus 6x is x minus 2. Okay. And now I'm going to use the additive inverse of the number. You know, x is being decreased by 2. And now x is, oh my God. See, I need to move the camera and look at the camera. All right, so we have 5 plus 2 is 7. This cancels out, so x equals 7. As simple as that. So you see, we just turn a really difficult equation into something easy by following the golden rules. All right then. Let's see now. Oh, it's okay. We got more problems here. Gosh. All right, no problem. So once again, this one you could do on your own. Still, always remember to write down the rules. Here I'm gonna skip to the last one. I know I could use fractions, right? I could use the property, the second rule, the second golden rule that reads fractions. But I'm just gonna skip to the multiplicative inverse, if you know what I mean. Because there's only, look, one number multiplying the variable equaling to another number, so that should be easy. There is no other operation like a plus or minus, so then we're good. So multiplicative inverse of negative 1 over 3 is negative 3 over 1, right? Or just negative 3. Remember what the idea is. When you multiply and divide by the same number, they cancel out. And negative times negative is positive, so y equals, what is 15 times negative 3? Oh, you didn't copy, I'm sorry. Okay. And here you write down the steps. Okay, let's continue with this. Okay, I don't like this crazy.
It starts this way.
No.
Friday tomorrow. Yesterday was the record. And today's code.
Okay, so let's do this.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, hello.
It's early, right?
What's going on? Yes, infinite lists. You're back.
Right.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to edit this. No. Alright, sorry. Let's do this.
Right.
So distributed property. Cosmore, I'm recording. Okay, so I am going to start this. Do I have distributed property? No, right? Okay, so what else? Do I have fractions? Yes. So let's find the common denominator. So between 6 and 4. What is the common denominator between 6 and 4? I'm going to say right now that if you play the game down to 1, let's play the game down to 1. So we're going to have 6 and 4 right here. Okay, what is the lowest number I can divide by? Well, the lowest number I can divide by here is 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, what is the next lowest number I can divide by? Well, I can also divide by 2 again. Look, 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then, sorry, that was a noise. I'm sorry. Kobe, don't hit the marker. Thank you. Pass me the marker, please. Thank you.
It's not early.
All right, so we continue, hopefully without any more interruptions.
Right.
Cosmore, I don't want your conversations to be on my video.
Right.
Cosmore, I don't want your conversations to be on my video. Alright, so we are going to solve this problem. I had written something previously over here, so I'm going to explain what is it that I'm doing. So here I said, okay, distributive property, no. Then I said, do I have fractions? And I said, yes, look, fractions. So then I'm gonna find the common denominator. So I put the two denominators here and I said, what is the lowest number I can divide by? And I put a 2 here. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Ah, okay. And then what? Then again I said, what is the next lowest number I can divide by? And then I said, wait, I can still divide by 2, so I divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so hey, I'm done with this. And then 3 divided by 2 is, wait, 3 cannot be divided by 2, so I just copy it down again. Now, what is the next lowest number I can divide by? Well, I can divide by 3. Look, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So, boom, I'm done with it. That's great. So now, I have to multiply this and I find my common denominator. Although I already knew that my common denominator was going to be 12. Look, 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. So I am going to multiply the whole thing by 12. Okay? Remember, I'm multiplying by the top and dividing by the bottom. But it's easier to start dividing. Okay, look, multiply by top, divide by bottom. It's always the case. So let's see now. 12 times 5 is 60, and then divided by 6, you see? So then it's easier to say 12 divided by 6 is 2. Times negative 5 is negative 10. X. See how easy it was? And now 12 divided by 4 is 3, times 3, 9. I could have said 12 times 3 is 36, divided by 4, and then I would have to guess, and then, I mean not guess, but think, and then I said 9. Alright, now I'm going to use the multiplicative inverse. So, because there's a number multiplying the variable, so multiplicative inverse of negative 10 would be negative 1 over 10, or 1 over negative 10, however you want to look at it. Like that. Alright, remember negative times negative is positive, and the idea behind using the multiplicative inverse is to eliminate the number on the variable. Alright, so multiply by top, divide by bottom, so 9 times 1 is 9 over, I get 10, right? I guess 10. Now, positive times negative is negative, so we're done with this. Remember, you gotta write the steps over here. Alright, let's move on. Alright, here, a plain side, I know I have like terms on the same side, so that's exactly what I'm gonna tackle. So 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 minus 7 is negative 2. And now I'm going to stop using the multiplicative inverse, I'm still gonna use it, but I'm gonna follow what you guys like, okay? Which is basically divide by -2 on both sides. Okay, it's not gonna happen all the time, but right now, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, distributive property, no. Fractions, yes. So we are going to find the common denominator. So we could do it in two different ways. So we could play the game down to 1. Okay, so let's see, what is the lowest number I can divide by? 2, right? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Hey, done. And 3 divided by 2, you cannot do it. So we bring down the 3. Next number I can divide by? 3. Okay. 3 divided by 3, 1. 3 divided by 3, 1. Hey. And multiply this, and that is your LCD, your least common denominator. So that means that I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 6. See, I'm repeating over and over what we're doing until you understand it. Remember, I could put this as 6 over 1 if it makes more sense to you, but then you will have to multiply it and then write it down over here. Multiply it, write it down over here. As opposed to if I just say, okay, we're multiplying by 6. So remember, when you multiply by a fraction, you multiply by the top and divide by the bottom. Multiply by top, divide by bottom. Okay, so then, but it's easier to start the division than the multiplication. So look, 6 divided by 3 is 2, times 2, 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3, times 1, 3. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Well, they cancel out. So times 5 is 5. So, see that? Easy, right? Now it turns into a simple equation. Additive inverse, because I don't have variables on both sides, I don't have like terms. What in the world did you just do, Becker? Well, I used the multiplicative inverse of 4, which is 1 over 4. 1 over 4. Okay. Well, then I said, okay, 4 times 1 is 4, divided by 4 is 1. Or 4 divided by 4 is 1, times 1 is 1. Or I just said when I use the multiplicative inverse on a number, they cancel each other. So that leaves you with x. And then 2 times 1 is 2 over 4. But 2 over 4 is the same thing as 1/2. Bam! Saving paper, saving 1 tree at a time. Let's see how much do I have left. This was a long lesson, oh my god. Alright, so by now you should be acquainted with this. That's it. Distributive property, no. Fractions, yes. So I want to get rid of this fraction because I don't really like to deal with fractions. So I'm going to multiply. What is the common denominator right now? The common denominator is 4 because that's the only denominator. So remember here, this 4 and this 4, they will cancel out. So that means that I'm left with 3x. Or look, 4 divided by 4 is 1 times 3, 3x. Plus 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2x is 8x. And 4 times -6 is -24. Then, do I have like terms? No. Do I have variables on both sides? Yes. So get rid of the lesser one. You see how easy this is becoming? So cancel out the 3x's. 8x minus 3x is 5x. 5x. Okay. And now what? Additive inverse? Sure. And now I'm going to use the multiplicative inverse. Or if you want to, in this case, we could just, you want to divide by 5? Fine, divide by 5. So we got x equals 44 over 5. Okay. This problem, I think this is the one we did on the... I think this is the one we did. Let me see, 15. Yeah, we did this before. Okay. The common denominator was 15. And now, remember when you multiply by a fraction, you multiply by the top, divide by the bottom. So 15, this time, I'm going to do it in a more simplified way. 15 divided by 5 is 3 times 2x 6x. 15 divided by 3 is 5, times 1 is 5. When you multiply and divide by the same number, they cancel out. So you have 7x minus 2, okay? Then we have variables on both sides, so let's get rid of the lesser one. And now we use additive inverse. And x is 7. Boom. All right. So, let's see now. Here, remember, this is where you start, right? Do I have distributive property? The answer is yes. So, or can I elaborate a plan to solve this equation? Am I going to tackle this? Well, first I'm going to use the distributive property. So, guess what? I do have distributive property. So let's see. Multiplying by a fraction, multiply by the top, divide by the bottom. So this is like saying x over 1 if you like are confused. So x times 3, so it's 3x over 5. Okay, or 3 times x is 3x over 5, however you look at it. Then 3/5 times 2. Remember that this is also 2 over 1. So just in case you're confused, I would have just said 3 times 2 is 6 over 5. That's what I would have said, but it's okay. Oh, okay. 6 over 5. And then on the other side, remember that on the other side nothing happened. Okay. Whew. So we're good. Now I ask myself, are there any fractions? And I see that we have fractions here. So then I'm going to use the common denominator. So in this case, guess what the common denominator is? Yes, the common denominator is 5. So let's see now. Multiply by top, divide by bottom, remember? So 5 divided by 5 is 1 times 3, 3x. 5 divided by 5 is 1 times 6, 6. And then on the other side we have 5x minus 20 because 5 times blah 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 blah, right? You multiply by x, you multiply by -4, and that's what you get. Variables on both sides, yes, get rid of the lesser one. Additive inverse? Sure. Now we're gonna use the multiplicative inverse, but I'm gonna go easy on you and we're just gonna divide by 2 on both sides. So x equals 13, okay? Woo. Oh, okay, here we go. Once again, here we have fractions. Now, you know what? I want to try solving the previous equation in a different way. I'm not sure if it's gonna work out the same, but
Wait, honey, can you look at this? Does this sound like me?
oh, okay. Let's see now. I'm watching movies. I'm watching chaga. Okay. So I want to try something. I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but if it does, then that will be a new trick to learn, right? I'm still gonna stick to my rules, but let's see now. So let's say I go and instead of saying is there distributive property, I actually say are there any fractions, and I see that there is this fraction over here. This is multiplying all this. So how about I multiply everything by 5? How about I multiply everything by 5? Then I would have 5 divided by 5, they cancel out, times 3, right? And on the other side I have 5x minus 20. So just hear me out. This is something that I'm just testing. So I did cancel out. I cannot go and multiply by this and then multiply by that and multiply by that, because this is the distributive property right here. This right here was the distributive property. So I'm multiplying the whole thing by 5, but this is already gonna get multiplied by 3 over 5. So I don't have to multiply by 5. You understand what I'm saying? It's like if I say, okay, 5 divided by 5 is 1 times 3, 3 times x. You understand what I'm saying? So by just doing it over here, you don't have to do it throughout the whole x plus 2. Now, if I use the distributive property, guess what, guys? It actually is the same. Wow. So I could have avoided using the distributive property over here and just do the fractions. Interesting.